Now, to an emotional evening for a grieving family. On Tuesday, East Cleveland police found the body of a woman believed to be 22-year-old Alicia Poynter.
Man has managed to achieve a lot in this lifetime. We achieved intelligence, and then we ushered in a way of life. We built homes to shield us from the elements, and then we built skyscrapers just for our amusement. We envied the birds, so we built planes to soar amongst them. And then we decided that wasn't high enough. So we fabricated a spaceship and greeted the moon. Man's achievements grow greater by the day, while humanity moves backwards by the second. If you need an example of what I'm speaking of, then look no further than this next story.
November 5th, 1999. The world would make way for Alicia Poynter. Those close to Alicia describe her as affectionate. She was a considerate person. She was thoughtful, generous. She was trustworthy. She was confident. She was a person who knew who she was. The year is 2021. Alicia Poynter is in Cleveland, Ohio. She has gone through elementary school, middle school, high school, learned the fundamentals of life, and now she's on her way to finding out who she is as an adult. November 2nd, 2021, a tragic event would occur that would alter the lives of many people. On this day, 19-year-old father-to-be Amin Jazz Shomo would be gunned down in Slavic Village neighborhood. After this incident occurs, the police immediately get to work and they begin rounding up people of interest. And one of the people of interest happened to be the boyfriend of Alicia Poynter. For safety reasons, I will not be disclosing his name. We're just gonna call him boyfriend. So Alicia's boyfriend is a person of interest in this case. In fact, the people who were close to Amin Jazz Shomo were actually looking for the guy. So associates of Amin Jazz Shomo search high and low for Alicia's boyfriend. However, they're not able to obtain his location. Due to the fact that they cannot obtain his location, they decide to concoct a scheme in which they'll kidnap someone. And the person they decide to kidnap is none other than Alicia Poynter. November 5th, 2021. Alicia Poynter would be having a conversation with her other half. But I'm not speaking about her boyfriend. Alicia Poynter was actually a twin. She had a twin sister and they were very close. It would be the early morning hours of Friday, November 5th of 2021, in which Alicia would be texting with her sister. Then the conversation abruptly stops. During their conversation, Alicia was supposed to bring her sister some food, so the fact that she didn't show up with the food and she's not replying kind of made the sister uneasy, so she tries to contact her throughout the day. She constantly texts and calls, but Alicia doesn't reply. Alicia's sister then decides to, do a round check. Just call around and see if anyone has seen or talked to her. So she ends up calling their little sister. And she asks her, "Have you spoken to Alicia?" The little sister says, "Yes, I spoke to her. She said that her boyfriend left her in the middle of nowhere." So Alicia's sister at this point is upset. She decides to hang up and call the boyfriend. So she calls him and she confronts him about the information that she just received from her little sister. But the boyfriend, he's clueless about it. He says that he hasn't been with her. He doesn't know what she's talking about. He didn't leave her stranded anywhere. Now, during the midst of this conversation, something miraculous would happen. The boyfriend would actually be receiving a call from Alicia at the time he was on the phone with her sister. So he hangs up and he answers the FaceTime call. But it's not the call people were looking for. When he answered this FaceTime call, he sees Alicia Poynter. She's crying. She looks distraught. And someone else is holding the phone. There's other people with her. And it's looking like a shady situation. Someone in the background would then tell the boyfriend that he needs to go turn himself in, and then the FaceTime call ends. The boyfriend then immediately calls Alicia's sister and tells her, "Go to the police, she's in trouble." He tells her about the FaceTime call that he just received, and now the sister's frantic. So her and the mother drive to Cleveland to file a report. But when they get to the Cleveland police station, they were treated as if this wasn't a serious situation. If you go down to a police station and you're wanting to report a friend or a loved one missing, you expect them to spring into action like Superman, but that didn't happen in this situation. In fact, the family felt like they were taking it light. So they filed an official report and then they go home because at this point, there's nothing left to do but wait on results. So the family's at home. Alicia is missing. I would imagine that they're phone gazing, waiting on their phone to ring with good news. But the night fades away. Then morning comes, and still no sign of Alicia. The date is November 6th of 2021. On this day, the family would actually receive a disturbing picture. They would receive a picture of Alicia Poynter, and inside of this picture, Alicia Poynter has a gun in her mouth with a message attached to it saying that her boyfriend needs to go turn himself in to the police within an hour, or you know what we're gonna do. So at this point, the family is highly distraught. They're upset. They're in fear for Alicia's life. So they take that photo down to the police, and finally, they seem to be taking the case serious. So they spring into action and they start doing police work. So the police begin to round up friends, family, and any close associates in order to question them. But with all the efforts, it doesn't lead to anywhere. November 7th passes. Then November 8th passes. Still no sign of Alicia. So at this point, the family is extremely frantic and they can't find their loved one. And just to add insult to injury, the last known photo of her alive is a very disturbing one. So they're looking for any type of sign or anything to let them know that Alicia is still okay. But they're not getting that. November 9th, 2021. On this day, the police would receive a tip. This tip would have a location attached to it. Now, this location was actually an abandoned home. They receive a tip to go to this abandoned home. They get there. They search the premises. And then when they reach the basement, sadly, they find the body of Alicia Poynter.
And this morning, we are learning more about the woman found dead in an abandoned East Cleveland home. Police believe that woman is 22-year-old Alicia Poynter. She was last seen Thursday in North Randall, and the FBI, along with local police, have been looking for her ever since.
The police have now discovered the body of Alicia Poynter. An autopsy conducted would conclude that she was shot multiple times. When Alicia Poynter went missing, they searched high and low. They questioned everyone, but they didn't get anywhere. But somehow, miraculously, on November 9, 2021, a tip comes in that leads them to the location of her body. Now, that tip had to have came from someone who was there. And I'm guessing that tip probably came from these two girls that I'm about to introduce next. You're about to meet two girls. However, for safety reasons, they will not be named. We're just going to call them Anonymous Girl 1 and Anonymous Girl 2. On the day that Alicia Poynter was abducted, Anonymous Girl 1 and Anonymous Girl 2 were hanging out. They went out, they got food with each other, and then they returned home. Now, when these girls get home, they're sitting in the driveway. Anonymous Girl 1 and Anonymous Girl 2 are sitting in the driveway eating food when they are suddenly bum rushed by a few people wielding firearms. They are then forced into two different cars. Anonymous Girl 1 is placed in one car, and Anonymous Girl 2 is placed in another and forced to drive to another location. Now, Anonymous Girl 1 would be taken to a location and then later set free. However, Anonymous Girl 2 was forced to drive to Alicia Poynter's home. Now, Anonymous Girl 2 was very cordial with Alicia. She knew her, so the kidnappers used her to lure Alicia out of her home. Once they lured her out, Alicia was kidnapped. They then drove Alicia Poynter and Anonymous Girl 2 to a house This would be the first of 2 locations that they would actually visit that night. Anonymous Girl 2 and Alicia Poynter are here in this house. Anonymous Girl 2 is tied to a pole, however, she is in the same room with Alicia. The kidnappers have them here in this house and they're questioning Alicia. And then questioning turns into beating. So once this occurs, Anonymous Girl 2 tries to throw her body over Alicia in order to protect her, to try to stop them from beating on her. So they take Alicia out of the room and take her upstairs. In the reported details that Anonymous Girl 2 then heard Alicia being beaten even further. She was in agony. She could actually hear Alicia calling her name. And things are looking extremely terrible right now. So the kidnappers finish up with Alicia upstairs. They then place the 2 girls inside of a car and drive them to another location. This location is in fact the abandoned home in which Alicia was found in. Now, this is the part where Anonymous Girl 2 leaves the story, because when they get to the abandoned home, Anonymous Girl 2 is released. She's set free. She gets to walk off with her life. But not before these kidnappers would take her already beaten and broken Alicia Poynter down to the basement of that home. They then stood over her and questioned her again about her boyfriend's whereabouts. They weren't getting what they wanted, so then they stood over her and shot her 16 times. Anonymous Girl 1 and Anonymous Girl 2 have now given their testimony to police, so they know exactly who they're looking for. And the number of people arrested in this case is unbelievable.
6 people have been arrested in the murder of 22-year-old Alicia Poynter. Hakeem Ali Shomo, who police say may be the leader of the group, remains on the loose. East Cleveland police say soon there will be an intensive manhunt for the 18-year-old with the help of the FBI, U.S. Marshals, and Cleveland police. We are told there will be nowhere for him to hide.
Now to some breaking news. The final arrest in the Alicia Poynter case out of East Cleveland was made in Kentucky overnight. Police in Hopkinsville, Kentucky arrested Hakeem Ali Shomo around midnight. He was the last of 7 suspects in Poynter's death. Her body was found in a burned house in East Cleveland in early November.
After the suspects are rounded up and the police further investigate this case, it is revealed that in regards to Amin J. Shomo, his girlfriend was in that group that kidnapped Alicia Poynter. His uncle was in that group. There were close friends. You know, these weren't just people. I'm trying to tread lightly here because, make no mistake about it, I feel no sympathy for any one of them. I feel their pain, you know, to have your loved one gunned down, but for them to be able to stand over that girl and ruthlessly do these things to her, you know, it blows my mind. I think they need counseling. I hope they seek help, you know, because if you're willing to go out here and take someone who is completely innocent and snuff them of their life because you want revenge for what happened to someone you knew, you don't deserve to be on the streets. You're a danger to society. The sheer number of suspects rounded up alone it's unbelievable. You know, this many people plotted and were in on taking this innocent girl's life. She didn't have anything to do with this. In fact, her boyfriend didn't even know Amin J. Shomo. You know, and that's just adding insult to injury because word on the street is her boyfriend didn't have anything to do with that murder. So that makes this situation that much worse. The only real motive in this case was revenge. Or at least that's what they thought they got. Because you didn't do anything. They did nothing but make complete clowns of themselves, going and killing a girl who had nothing to do with this. When you think about the situation and how this happened, Alicia was out the prior night with her friend, enjoying herself. She was up at 1:40 a.m. in the morning, texting her sister, talking about bringing her food. You know, these are everyday, normal things of life. And then just in a fraction of a second, all that changed. Time is of the essence. Don't let it pass you by. Live. Because you never know what day you're gonna check out on this earth. Rest in peace, Alicia Poynter. Thank you for being a light for others.
You've always felt like a part of you has gone missing. I know it's real, but I'm telling you, it's closer than you know. I'm really trying to keep it cool now. Don't you see that you're a fool? Oh, it's time to open your eyes. We gotta let go.